Today we're going to be going over one of the most effective ways to protect your product and your branding. And although it doesn't guarantee that people won't come in and copy and try and hijack your listing, it does give you that extra layer of protection that most people look over. Amazon have also released a heap of data showing that it's 99% effective in deterring people who are trying to infringe on your listing. And especially in Australia, it's going to give you a huge amount of tools that are going to give you a huge step up on all of your competitors, especially since the marketplace is still so young. So today we're going to be focusing on Brand Registry, and I'm going to jump into my computer in a sec and I'm going to show you what it is that you get when you register with Brand Registry and why it is that you need it, especially in Australia, and two, the most effective and quickest method to get yourself registered so that you can be set up and selling well before any of your competitors. Alright, so number one, why it is you need Brand Registry, and especially in Australia. So we're going to jump across here to Google, and all I've put in is Brand Registry, Amazon Australia, and you're going to see up the top here, we're going to click this first link, and it's going to bring us through to this page here where you can sort of scroll through and have a read about what I've already spoken about, and we can actually get a bit more of an idea about the extra benefits and protection we're going to get when you enroll in Brand Registry. So if we click Get Started with Brand Registry, it's going to bring us to this page here where we can actually scroll down, and you can see they've listed a couple of the features you get, but we want to see all of the benefits that we're going to be brought with. And it's to note, I'll actually go through them here, but some of the ones noted on Amazon's website aren't actually available in Amazon Australia yet. Everything is available in Amazon US because it's the biggest marketplace, but not everything has arrived here in Australia yet. So as well as the protection that Brand Registry provides from people coming on and trying to sell your product under your name, and maybe they do it at a much lower quality so that then your brand and your product gets all these bad reviews and bad names, there's also a heap of added benefits that are going to help you sell more and make more sales. And the first, of course, is your A+ content or your EBC. Now, I talk about this all the time on the channel and how I believe whenever you're launching a new product, you should always launch it with your EBC. It allows you to, one, have a heap more imagery across your product page, allowing your product description to be changed into an image collage that's going to help convert the customer. And then two, one of the most important parts is that EBC is going to allow you to have a video on your page. So you can get a high quality, well-made video, and everyone knows that videos always convert way more than photos do. So you have that video, and then you can actually use that video as a form of advertisement. So Amazon will use your video as an ad under certain search terms, and that's going to allow your video of your product to stand out against all the boring images of everyone else's listings. Building off of this, there's then also the sponsored brands. So you can now have a video that you can advertise, but then you can also advertise your brand itself. It shows up as a banner above everyone else's listings, and it allows you to showcase the logo and your message and what it is that you want your brand to represent. Again, this just kind of acts as another scroll stopper when people are looking for what to buy, and if you're creative and effective about it, it allows you to hook people's eyes and draw them and convert them on your listing. Another great feature, and if you imagine if you were selling off of Amazon, you might have like your own Shopify store or Etsy where it's just your homepage. You can put whatever information you want there about your brand. You can now also have a store inside of Amazon. So people can click on your brand name underneath the listing, or if you're advertising your store itself, and it's going to take them through to, it's almost like another website. So you can choose the title, you can have your images in there, little about section, you can have something about yourself as like the founder or the CEO, or maybe a story about the brand where you get the products made, charity, whatever. But it allows customers to go through and learn more about the brand and build trust in that connection that you're going to have with the customer. And the other big feature that Brand Registry allows you to unlock is your brand analytics. Now, this is going to let you go in and see so many more details about your customer, and I use it a lot to really flesh out my avatar of my customer that I sort of have in my mind. So it's going to let you know the gender of your customer, the age range of the people that are buying the most, and what times, all these extra details that are going to help you improve your listing for one, and help you build on your offers to really take advantage of those promotions promotional period times. And then the last big feature that we're going to cover today is the subscribe and save. So if you have a product that is maybe something edible or like toilet paper where people use it and they're going to need to reorder it in the future, if you're brand registered, you can offer the opportunity for people to subscribe to your product, to your brand. So you'd ship them out toilet paper every single month and they're going to pay for it every single month, and therefore they get a little bit of a saving. So this allows a really big opportunity for you to have reoccurring revenue if you have that kind of product that needs to be replenished. And then remember, worth noting, I said there's a couple of features on this page that you won't actually find in your Seller Central. Now, although Amazon says that the Vine program is available in Australia, I have tried forever and it ended up, I had contacted support to ask them because I couldn't find anyone talking about it on the internet. And they said that the Vine program is not yet available in Australia. So in the US, this is when you'd register for the Vine program and you'd get some guaranteed reviews. They're honest reviews, so they might not be 5-star, but it's a great way in the US market to get your initial 10 reviews. Now, it will be great when it comes to Australia, but at the moment you have to undertake other methods to get those initial reviews. And then the other program that it says is here, but it's not yet, is your Amazon Live. So in America, this is what allows brands to go live, a live video where people can come along. They showcase their products, they talk about the benefits and the features. Maybe they have like a specific little pitch that they use just for when they have a live audience, but it really allows you to engage with your viewers. And then the video goes into like a little shopper feed. It's like a social media, but a different kind of feed afterwards. So people can continue to engage with it. And it's meant to be coming to Australia, but at this stage, it's still not here yet. If you want some guidance into how to incorporate some of these features into your listing and your brand, I have some basic guides here on my channel that are going to be great for beginners. Or if you need a little bit more structure and a bit more of a step-by-step guide, you can click the link down below and check out my Amazon Australia University program. It's launching in a couple of weeks' time, but if you want that early access discount, you can click that link down below. You can get in there, you'll get access a couple of days before everyone else, and you'll also get it at the cheapest price that it's ever going to be. So if you want that step-by-step guide where everything's a bit more concise and you feel you're a little bit confused and don't know exactly where to start, just check out that first link in the bio down below. So of course, you can see there's a heap of upside for being brand registered. And the reason that I say it's so important when you're launching in Amazon Australia is that it is a smaller marketplace, but at the moment there's all these big worldwide brands in there who don't really care about selling on Amazon at all. So they just chuck their listing on there, they chuck their products on there, and they're not brand registered at all. So they have horrible listings, these big long sections of text, and they're not using up the advertising at all. So there's the opportunity for you who knows what they're doing, who's better trained in selling on Amazon, to come in, be brand registered, and then dominate these huge brands and take away a big chunk of the pie that they're earning every single month, just doing the absolute minimum work. And then of course, the next most important part is how you actually go about getting registered in Amazon's program. Now, it is relatively simple. There's a couple of steps involved, but once you've had it mapped out, you'll find you'll be able to do it time and time again. So in order to apply for the brand registry, you are going to need a trademark number. Now, in order to acquire this, you're going to have to file for a trademark, and there's two types you can go for. You can either go for a text trademark or an image trademark. What this means, if you're going for an image trademark, you would be trademarking something like your logo. Whereas if you were going for a text trademark, it would be the name or the text of a brand itself. For example, something like McDonald's, right? McDonald's is trademarked to McDonald's. It doesn't matter what text it's written in, how big it is. The word McDonald's is trademarked to McDonald's. Now, in my personal experience, I have always done a word trademark. I believe a image trademark can be easier to do because a word trademark in certain cases can conflict with other competitors if there's a lot of people going for like a generic term. However, I've never had an issue with it as I've always worked with a professional and they've been great in guiding me, but I wanted to bring that up just so you have it there to compare both. Which segues perfectly into my next point, on which is whether you do it yourself or you hire someone to do it. Now, I have done both, and I know people who have done it themselves and say that it's totally fine and that they would recommend it. But when I did it myself, I ended up having issues and didn't even end up going ahead with the trademark. And it ended up just being a big waste of time and money. And I ended up doing the trademark and then doing it wrong. And then because I still wanted to use the name, I was then competing against myself. So it sounds stupid and it's embarrassing when I talk about it now, but there are just a lot of easy little mistakes that can be made if you don't have a sort of general idea of what you're doing. So if you want to hire someone to do it, I know a lot of people talk about these lawyers and stuff, they pay several thousands of dollars to do it, which I just think is ridiculous. I always go through Upwork, on which I post a job saying I need someone in Australia to help me with this brand registry trademark. You'll have a heap of people apply, and when I've done it, I've been able to hire the person for just a couple $100, and then of course you'll have to pay for all the filing fees and all the other costs that go along with it yourself. So you can definitely get it done for just under or just above $1,000. So once you've worked with the person that you've hired or doing it yourself, eventually once your trademark is processing, not complete processing, you're going to get a trademark number. And once you have this, you're able to apply for the brand registry. So if we come back into my computer here, we can see we're still on the brand registry page, and we're going to click get started with brand registry. Hey yo, it's Lockie from the future. I was just editing this footage right now, and the second half of my audio has now been corrupted. So just letting you know that like the last couple minutes of the audio sound a little bit different. It's because it's coming from my camera, but I've boosted it a heap so you can still hear it. It's just not as good quality, but you'll still be able to understand what I'm talking about. So I'm really, really sorry. It's not going to happen again. Thank you guys so much. Straight back to it. It'll then bring us through to this screen here, from which we just scroll all the way down and we want to go enroll now. And we're going to select the country that we're registering in. So of course we're going to pick Australia. So normally it would ask you to sign in here, but mine's already signed in, and it's going to bring you through to your brand registry dashboard. And for you, if you haven't done one before, this is going to be blank, but we'd scroll down and we would then click on enroll a new brand. So this is the start of the process where you're going to be entering your details into Amazon. You can see on the left here, we're going to click I have a pending or registered trademark. So you're going to come through here and fill out the information that you have, what your brand name is. We are obviously doing an Intellectual Property Australia, and this is where you'd enter that trademark number. So this is either going to get emailed to you, or sometimes it does get emailed to the person you're working with. And then we come down and you'll see you have the option to either select registered, or for us it's going to be pending, because we're not going to wait for it to be registered because that can take several months and we want to get going as soon as we can. So we hit pending. And then whether we're doing a word mark or a design mark, which is the image or the logo one that I mentioned. And then if we come down here, they're going to want a picture of your product with either the word mark or the design mark on it. Now, I've spoken about this before. What Amazon wants is a finished product, an actual photo with the mark on it. However, in the past, I've been able to just use Photoshop, or you can use Canva or pay someone on Upwork or Fiverr just to do a little mock-up. And for me, because I did the word marks, they just put my title of the brand on a box or on the product, made it look real so the lighting matched, and then just uploaded it to Amazon. So of course, it's up to your discretion whether you want to do this. I found that it's relatively easy to fill Amazon's system in that way, and they don't have any big backdraws with that. And it allows you to just go along the process and get it all set up a lot quicker. So I've just popped in some random details here, but you obviously want to put in your real stuff. And once we're all in, we're going to hit next. And it's going to bring us across, and we first want to select whether we're a seller, a vendor, or neither of those. So most of the people that I talk to and the way that I teach it is always to go as the seller. If you are a vendor, you're going to know you're a vendor and you'll select that option. And then maybe if you're doing like wholesaling or some other process, you can hit the neither option. If you're the vendor or neither, you're going to know you're that. Otherwise, just click on the seller and you're going to follow it through that way. So when you select seller here, it's going to come down and you're going to select the marketplace account you're going into. I'll have this blurred out. We've picked the Australian one, and then we want to choose the category that our brand is in. So you just pick the one that best applies. And then when we come to here, we want to change on the left here first to the Amazon Australian marketplace. And then it wants you to add any of the ASINs of the products you're going to be selling under the brand. Now you are able to add other products in later to the brand, but you need to have a listing set up already in order to get through this process. Now I have a video showing how to set up your first listing, do a dummy listing. It'll be linked up above. And all you have to do is go into your inventory report and you'll see the listing there and the ASIN will be just under it. So all you have to do is copy that ASIN and paste it in here, and then that product will automatically be linked to your new brand once it goes through. And then it has the option for you to include the URL if your brand has an official website or if it's sold on like Shopify or ClickFunnels or anything like that. If you do have a website for the brand or the other platforms, I definitely recommend putting it in there because it can make the process a little bit quicker. But again, if you don't, it's not the end of the world. They're not going to reject your application just because you don't have a website. And then once you've filled all that out, we're going to hit next and jump through to the next section, of which is just talking about the manufacturing and distribution. So the first one here, does your brand sell to distributors at all? If it's just your first time and it's one of your first products, you're probably not going to be selling to any distributors at all. If you are, of course, you're going to know that you are. You're going to select yes, and it's going to be a little bit of a different process. But for most of you, you're just going to select no there and continue on through. And the same goes for the licensing option. If you have a bigger brand like Disney or Nike or like the big movie companies, they're going to license out their brand for other people to be able to sell it. But if it's just your first time starting off, you're more than likely not going to have any licensing deals set up. So you're just going to select no. And then normally you would hit submit. I'm not going to hit submit because I have a heap of made up information in there and Amazon's going to hate it. But that's going to send it off and they're going to start to check all the details and make sure everything matches up. It generally doesn't take too long. I want to say anywhere between like 3 to 7 business days. If there's anything wrong, which most of the time Amazon comes back with at least something wrong. They'll send you an email saying, hey, can you please update this? And most of the time you can just change something slightly and then re-upload it, and then they're gonna just say it's fine. For whatever reason, a lot of the time they just reject it on the first try no matter what, and you might not even change something, or it's like still the same information, just slightly different, like the image with the text attached to it to prove it. And then for whatever reason, it just goes through. So don't be stressed if it doesn't come back the first time. Just go in, tinker with it a little bit, and then try again. So once you get accepted, make sure you go through and take advantage of all those different tools, especially in the Australian marketplace, because they're going to give you that huge kickstart when you launch to put you above all those other lazy competitors. Now, if you found this helpful and you want a little bit more of a handhold or more of a structured guide into the whole process of launching your product on Amazon Australia, you can click the first link down below. I have my Amazon Australia program. It's opening in a couple of weeks' time, and we've just made a heap of big changes. So there's a heap of new content in there. That's one targeted at new people who have next to no experience and need the full guide, all the way through to once you're selling and you're trying to scale up to those bigger numbers and even selling your business those couple years in the future. So if that sounds like something that might be a match for you, make sure you check it out in that first link below. But otherwise, I'm super proud of you for making it through this process, and you're another step closer to getting live on Amazon. This is a big step and one that a lot of people usually skip over. So if you're taking that bit of extra time, that little bit of extra money, it's going to put you miles ahead of your competitors. So congratulations, I'm super proud of you. And remember, you're only one product away from living the life of your dreams. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.